they came for us. When the screaming started, I thought it was a nightmare. But when I opened my eyes, the sky was glowing red. Our village was under attack. The smell of burning thatch filled the air, and I could hear people running, their feet pounding against the dirt paths. My father burst into our hut, yelling, "Run! Take your sister and go." I grabbed Nia, my little sister, and we ran barefoot into the forest. Behind us, I could hear men shouting in a language I didn't understand. Then came the gunshots. We hid under a bush, trembling. Nia clung to me, her tiny hands shaking. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, so loud I was sure they'd hear it. I held my breath when I saw their shadows pass by, carrying torches. One of them stopped, turning toward us. But then another voice called out, and they moved on. We stayed there until the sun rose. When we finally crept back to the village, everything was gone. The huts were burned to the ground. The fields were trampled. And the people, we found my father lying in the dirt near the center of the village. He wasn't moving. Nia started crying, and I had to cover her mouth to stop her from screaming. I told her we had to go, that it wasn't safe anymore, but she wouldn't leave. She kept saying, "Mama is coming back. We have to wait for Mama." But Mama wasn't coming back. That night, we tried to sleep in the ruins of our hut. I don't know how long I had my eyes closed before I heard the footsteps. They were back. I shook Nia awake, and we ran again. But this time, we didn't make it far. A man grabbed me by the arm and yanked me backward. I screamed, kicking and fighting, but he was too strong. Another man grabbed Nia. She screamed too, calling for me, but they pulled us apart. That was the last time I saw her. They tied me to a long chain with other people from nearby villages. I recognized some of them, an old woman who used to sell fruit, a boy I'd played with by the river, but most of them were strangers. We were all tied together, forced to walk for days without food or water. By the time we reached the coast, I could barely stand. But I didn't have a choice. They pushed us onto a boat, locking us in the dark, cramped space below deck. The air was thick and smelled of death. People were crying, coughing, praying. Some just lay there, not moving at all. I don't know how long we were on that boat. Days, weeks. Time didn't mean anything anymore. I just remember the hunger, the thirst, and the constant rocking of the ship. When we finally reached the other side, they dragged us off the ship and lined us up like animals. People walked past, pointing at us, inspecting us. I didn't understand their words, but I understood the looks in their eyes. They sold me to a man who took me to a place where the sun burned hot, and the fields stretched as far as I could see. I worked there for years, cutting cane until my hands bled. I never saw my family again. Sometimes I still dream of Nia. In the dream, we're back in the village, sitting by the fire with Mama and Papa, When I wake up, all I see is the field. All I hear is the wind. And all I feel is the emptiness they left behind.